So there are total how many? 58 specification types under the substance category. Now apart from that, if you want to create any new specification type, is it possible? Can you create a new specification type? I told you in the case of category it was not possible, right? Because I told there are only 5 categories and you can use only those categories. You cannot create a new category, that is not possible. What about the specification types?
Yes, we can.
I guess we
I
can.
guess we can.
Yeah, we can create. We can create a new specification type. But I will see that later on. But for now, let me write some example for specification types under substance category. So let me come down here. Under substance category, we have some example of specification types like real substance, listed substance, pure substance, okay, or raw substance, nutrient, diet, and allergen. All these are examples. Allergens, all these are example for specification type under substance category. And what will you get when you divide the dangerous good classification? Because that is also a category. Under DG classification category, what do you think? What are the specification types? Let me go to that DG classification, and when I try to see what are the different specification types here, I get just one. SAP has given just one specification type under DG classification. But if I want to create new specification types under DG classification, can I do that? Because we have just one here. I want to create a new DG classification or specification type. Can I do that?
Yes.
Yes, it is possible. Like I told you before, we can create specification types. No matter in which category you want, you can create a specification type. But for now, just remember in the DG classification, there is just one specification type. What about in the agent category? Agent means I told you it is a hazard. Do you think we have only one type of hazard?
No, sir.
There are different types of hazard. So therefore, when I go under specification type of agent category, you can see here, we have allergen, biological hazard, chemical hazard, climate, electrical hazard, work environment. By the way, climate is also a hazard. Ergonomics, fire and explosion hazard, lighting, mechanical hazard, all these are different specification types under agent category. Okay, so if I want to write some examples, let me write here. DG classification we have just one, so I will not mention anything. Or okay, let me add here also. Some example we have to add. Here also I will put as DG classification. Next in the agent category, we have electrical hazard, mechanical hazard, climate, ergonomics, noise is also a hazard, physical hazard, and many others, including fire hazard. Fire also is a hazard. All these are different specification types in the agent category. Next, what do we have? After agent, we have waste code. Let's check out in waste code how many specification types we have. So when I go to waste code, double click on waste code, and here under specification types, again there will be just one. because SAP has just created one specification type for waste code category. Right? But again, here also, if you want to create, it is possible. You can create waste code as a specification type, no problem. But as a standard, they have just given one specification type called waste code. We have just one option, right? So in the waste code, we have just one option with the same name, waste code. Next, under packaging, packaging is the last category. Under packaging category, do we have one or multiple? Let's go and check it out. Under packaging, if I go to the list of specifications, specification types, here I can find, see, all these are different specification types. We have package, packaging code approval, corrugated case material, corrugated shipping case, packaging input, packaging output, and receptacle. Okay, these are some example of specification types under the packaging category. These are the specification types. Got it? But wherever you want to create some additional specification types, that is also possible. You can create them. So now we have seen up to here three main definitions. What is a specification? We have seen definition of a specification. We have seen what is a specification category. Okay, there are 5 categories like I told you, but we cannot create a new category. And we have seen what is a specification type. So up to here, please let me know if you have any doubt, any question for me, because these are all very basic things in specification management. So if you get clear in the beginning itself, it is good for you. In any of this, if you have any doubt in any of this, please let me know. Okay, no doubt. Fine. So let us revise again from the beginning. As soon as you go to the transaction code CG02BD, the system will take you to specification workbench. Okay, specification workbench is an application where we can create the data related to hazards, related to substances, related to dangerous goods, or related to waste material. We can create the data related to all these different materials in this specification workbench. And your specification workbench has been divided into different sections. Okay, we have first standard toolbar, both above and below. This is called as a standard toolbar. Between them, we have navigation area. This is called as a navigation area. And at the bottom left hand side, we have a detailed structure area. Right, and on the right hand side, we have the application area. Again, standard toolbar, navigation area, detailed structure area, and application area. Now, application area is currently, there is nothing to see, but when I double click on any category, that particular application area will have the initial screen. So initial screen actually means this is the first screen, and there are 2 users of an initial screen in SAP. You can either use initial screen to search any existing data, or you can use the initial screen to create a new data. For any of these 2 things, we can use the initial screen to search a data and to create a data. Suresh is messaging me. What happened? Oh,
He might want to join maybe.
okay. Yeah, earlier I used to get that sound, but I don't get notification nowadays.
Yes.
Okay, so what I was saying, So we have the initial screen using which either I can search the data or I can create a new data. For both of these things, we use initial screen. Not only in specification workbench, even if you go to, let's say, creating incident accident log, let me show you. When you want to create a incident accident log by using CVIH 82. See, here also we have an initial screen, right? You want to create an injury illness log, CVIH 72. See, here also we have an initial screen. One second. Anybody else? Similarly, in injury illness log also you can see we have a initial screen, and then when you want to create a risk assessment, and when I go to CBIH 12, here also I have a initial screen. So whatever application you are using in SAP, always the first screen is an initial screen, and by using that initial screen we can either search the data or we can create a new data for whatever purpose you want. Either to create or to search any data, we can use an initial screen. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that. Similarly, here in the specification management also, we have an initial screen. So now here, what are the different ways by which I can search any data or specification? What are the different methods?
Just type any letter.
Type any?
Letter or code.
Okay, fine. Like P182, we have a specification called P182. I will enter that name, and if I press enter, the system will show me the result in a hit list. So this is the specification I was searching the name, and I am getting one result. See, remember one more thing. The specification can either be a name or a number, or it can be a combination of both. Like P182, this has both letters and numbers. Or it can be just a number like this 1551. Or it can be a complete name like carbohydrate, right? Or it can be a combination of letters and numbers. It is your choice how you want to create a specification. It can be a pure number, or it can be just a name. Like here we have carbohydrate, it is just a name, or it can be a combination of both, right? So it can be any of these two things. Okay, so after you search, when you double click, what will happen? That specification will first get added here in the list, and also in my detailed structure area I can see that it is having some data. They have created some data. Like that I can display. I can search by using the name of that specification. What is the other way? One is using the name, entering the complete name, and if you don't know,
Wild character. Using wild
First
character.
letter followed by star.
asterisk, yeah, asterisk you can add, but just asterisk will not work. First you have to enter either a letter or a number in the beginning, and then you have to add a star. Like for example, you want to display all these specifications starting with letter H. So add that first, followed by a star, and next what will you do?
Enter.
Enter. Press enter. So there are almost 533 specifications that start with letter H. And if you click on hit list, you can see all that. Halal, Halal CP, Hirsch, HT01. Okay, lot of specifications with HT01, HT02. There are more than 500. And all of these are starting with letter H. Now let's say I want to search any specification that ends with letter 1. So what do I do?
Star followed by S.
Yeah, first we have to add star now, then one or any other digit or letter, whatever you want to add, you can add that. Now press enter again. There are total 438 specifications that end with letter 1. So you want to see that, go to hit list and you will see all these specifications end with letter 1. It may start with anything, but it is ending all with 1. Right? Like that you can search. See here also A101, acetone 1, chem 01, lot of specifications. So it can either start with a letter followed by a star, or maybe it is first star ending with some letter or number. Right? So this is various ways by which we can search a specification. In fact, there is one more. Which I did not tell you till now. What is that? We can even search any specification depending on the specification type. Let's say I want to display all the specifications which belong to a particular specification type called as real substance. Okay? Because remember I told you in substance category we have different specification types. We have real substance, listed substance, pure substance, raw substance. Like that there are different specification type. So instead of entering the name, I can even choose what is the specification type. For example, let me select here raw underscore sub because we have raw substance. Enter that specification type. Either you can enter it, you can enter the letters, or you can select from the list. Both are fine. Okay. Now for example, directly you can enter that, or you can go to the list and from the list also you can select. Where is raw substance? We have raw substance, select that. If I press enter now, the system will show all the specification which come under raw substance specification type. But there are only two, by the way, there are only two. We have salt and we have sample 2025. Both of them are in raw substance. They belong to specification type raw substance. Similarly, let's see a few other examples. Now I will try to search real substance. All these specifications which belong to real substance specification type, you want to see them, press enter, and there are 517 specifications under that specification type. Okay, if I now again go to hit list, I can see all those. There are 517. All of these specifications belong to real substance. Same thing you can try for listed substance, for pure substance. Okay, and any other, if you want allergen, if you want to search, you can also put allergen and search for allergen specification type. See, all these are allergens. So there are different ways. Either you use the name, number of the specification, or even you can use the specification type to search any specification. Apart from this also there are more options. You can use identifier also. But I will tell this later on. If I tell now, you will be confused. So let's keep it for later on. By using identifiers also, you can search any specification. Okay, now we have to know a few more things. I told you real substance. When I was giving examples, I told you that we have real substance, listed substance, pure substance, raw substance. All these are examples. But do you know what is a real substance? Because most of the time they will ask this in interview. Definitely they will ask. Do you know what is a real substance? They may ask sometimes, what is a real substance? Please tell. Please explain, like that. Any idea what is a real substance? Okay, let me tell you. You may make a note if you want. A real substance is a substance that is physically present in a company. That is physically present in a company. It can be a raw material, or it can be a finished product, or it can be anything. Any material which is there in the company, which is present physically, is called as a real substance. That is why we call it as a real substance. Okay. Next, we have listed substance. Then what is a listed substance? They will ask this definitely. What is a listed substance?
Not physically present in a company.
Uh,
Not physically present in a company.
why do you think that will be the definition?
Opposite. Not the real.
No, it is not opposite. No. You think like that, but it is not. It's not like that. Okay, let me tell you what it is. A listed substance is a substance. A listed substance is a substance whose name appears in any regulation or regulatory list. Okay, what is this listed substance? Listed substance means it is a substance whose name is appearing in either one of the regulations or a regulatory list. In some rules, you know the rule book, in different countries there are different rules and regulations. So if that material name is appearing in one of the regulations, we call it as a listed substance. For example, most of the chemicals or all of the chemicals are a listed substance. Or if there is any other substance, which is controlled by the government, like drugs, for example, or any narcotics material, they are also controlled by the government. Or gold, for example, gold is also a listed substance. See, don't think listed substance means only chemicals. Not like that. It can even be some valuable material like a gold or diamonds or anything like that. So they are called as listed substances. Any material whose name is appearing in one of the regulations or regulatory list is called as a listed substance. Okay, examples also I told you exactly what it means. Next, third one. By the way, when you travel through via airport, let's say you want to go to Dubai or any country, and when you are traveling by using airways, when you check in your baggage, some materials are not allowed. You cannot carry some of the materials. For example, dry coconut you cannot carry. But you may argue with them. You can say why they don't allow dry coconut, but it is one of the listed substances according to IATA regulation. Do you know why you cannot carry dry coconut? Who can tell me this answer? If you have tried to travel either international flight or domestic flight, in both the cases they will not allow.
Combustible.
Hmm?
Combustible material.
Your voice is very low. Difficult to hear.
It's a combustible material.
Yeah, exactly. That is the reason. Yes. Dry coconut is a highly flammable material, by the way. It is edible, I know, but still, if there is a fire, it will increase that fire intensity, or it will help the fire in burning more. So it will increase the intensity of fire. Therefore, they don't allow you to carry dry coconut. Not only those items, they don't allow even sharp objects like knife. They don't allow flammable liquids like alcohol or any perfumes and all in your baggage, hand baggage. Because all these materials are not allowed according to IATA regulation. They are the listed substance. Similarly, you cannot carry gun. You cannot carry explosive material in your hand baggage or in the check-in baggage, because according to the airway regulations, some materials are banned or they are not allowed. Even your battery banks are also not allowed in your check-in baggage, or even Samsung tab is also not allowed in your check-in baggage. Right? All these are listed substances which are controlled by the government, because they are controlled by the government. Okay, listed substance, clear. Next we go to pure substance. One more type we have called pure substance. So what is a pure substance? See, if they ask you any question, they will either ask for real substance, listed substance, or pure substance, not more than that. Now, what is a pure substance? How will you define this? A pure, take a guess. At least we can guess. No problem. A pure substance is a substance that occurs in nature in its purest form. A pure substance is a substance that occurs in nature in its purest form. Can you give some examples?
Diamond.
Okay, why you call that as a pure substance? Because it is very hard, that is why. Or it is more valuable, is that the reason?
It's a pure carbon.
It's a 100% pure carbon, that's correct. 100% pure carbon. Any other material like that?
Gold.
Gold also you will get in the most purest form. 100% pure gold. Gold never comes in combination with other materials. Okay, it is always pure. So after they do the mining, they have to add other material like cadmium, for example, in a small percentage when they want to create a jewelry. So when they want to manufacture a jewelry, they will add a little bit of cadmium. Cadmium you might have heard, very famous. Cadmium is cadmium. They add into the gold when they are creating a jewelry. 100% pure gold you cannot, you can create biscuits, but jewelry you cannot create. Right? So that is another example. Any other example?
The oxygen that we use in the medical purpose, oxygen.
Yeah, maybe in the medical line, when you are using cylinders, there they use pure oxygen. But in air, it's not. Air, you cannot say it's a pure substance.
Sulfur.
Air, AIR.
No, sulfur.
Sulfur.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it is or maybe not. I'm not sure about sulfur. But I can give you one more example, water. Do you agree with me? Is water a pure substance?
After RO, reverse osmosis, and or treating, it might be purest form.
Even then, I am doubtful. Even if you
Mineral water.
use filters,
Mint.
yeah, it may not be. But yeah, I can guarantee you one thing. At the source, like in the Himalayas or wherever the water starts, at the river starting point, there it will be 100% pure. Later on, it gets, combined with other sand and other materials, and it will become impure. But at the starting point, even water is a 100% pure substance, no doubt. Okay, especially in the Himalayas, if you see where the glaciers are formed, it's 100% pure water. Later on, it will get polluted, like for example, river Ganges. When it starts in Himalayas, it is 100% pure. But by the time it reaches UP, Varanasi, or Banaras, it gets polluted because of human activity. Okay. So water is another example. So all these examples that I am giving you, even I think coal may or graphite, for example, is a pure carbon, graphite. Some materials are there, you can give them as example for a pure substance. So at least remember these three substances, you have to know what is the definition, because they will ask you sometimes what is a real substance and what is a listed substance, or what is a pure substance, like that they will ask you. But apart from that, there are many other specification types, like I told you, like raw substance is there, or allergen is there, or there are many other different types. But at least these three things you remember. Okay, guys, got it? So this is about the specification types. I have told you what is a specification, how you can define a specification. I have told you what are the different specification categories, and we have seen what is a specification type. Is it clear so far? Because if there is any doubt, anything, please let me know. Because as we go ahead, you may forget whatever we discussed before. So I want to be a slow here. I don't want to hurry and confuse you people. I will be slow here. So I'm giving you a lot of time to recall certain things, to repeat certain things, and any questions, I may answer them. Okay, nothing? Clear? And yeah, we also discussed about this now, how to remove the specification from the list, how to delete. Tell me one thing, if I delete a specification, can I get back that data?
Yes.
Do we have a recycle bin in SAP?
Yes, there was an option showing after the
Where?
after deleting, there is
Huh.
yes or no.
Yeah, that is confirming you. It is asking, do you really want to delete or not? That is what it is asking.
When after deleting, there is a search. We for a search type.
But it was not showing any result.
Restoration or something.
No, we don't have that option. See, for example, which one did I delete? Do you remember? Because I forgot. Yeah, fire underscore 01, right? I deleted fire underscore 01. So what will happen if I go and search? See, it is saying no data found. It is saying no data found because it is deleted. So from where will you get? It's deleted, gone. And you cannot bring it back. We don't have a recycle bin in our SAP, but still, okay, if you really want that badly, you have to connect with a technical consultant and they will reverse this. They will get back the data. It is possible, but it is very difficult. So better not to delete. Or even if you want to delete, just be sure. Ensure that the specification you are deleting is no more required. Then you delete that. Because if you simply delete later on if you want, then it becomes difficult. Okay guys, clear so far? Specification workbench, specification category, specification type. Yeah, all that we have seen so far. And one more thing, see, when I open any specification, let's say I will open this 1937 specification. So here you can see, where do you maintain the data actually? Let me try to change this property tree. Here maybe this. Okay, let me do one thing. So how do you actually maintain the data? Where do they maintain the data? See, for example, I have opened P100 specification, right? So where do they maintain the data for this specification? They maintain the data here. You see material safety data sheet, and below that there are some folders. Inside these folders we have to maintain the data. So if you are creating some MSDS for this chemical, you have to create that here. In these folders you have to create. For example, you can see here there are some tick marks. You can see there is a tick mark here for first aid measures. There is a tick mark here for firefighting measures. Why there is a tick mark? We have a tick mark here because these folders contain the data. There is a data in first aid measures. There is a data in firefighting measures. So I can expand. Let me expand this folder. Okay, under first aid measures, you can see we have first aid general information. Here also we have a tick mark, which means the data has been created for first aid general information, for first aid skin, and yeah, only those two. There is a data created for first aid general information and first aid skin. So let me go to general information. Double click on first aid general information. So what data? Can you see where is the data? Under first aid general information. In your application area, see here, in your application area, we have this. Call a physician immediately. Keep under medical supervision for at least 48 hours. If you feel unwell, seek medical advice. You see these three options. These are the first aid measures for general information. These are the general information or first aid measures. General information, they have maintained three data. Similarly, when I go to first aid skin, when I double click on first aid skin, what data you will find? Here also you can see for first aid skin, they have maintained some first aid instruction. You can read it. You can just expand this. Burns must be treated by a physician. Okay, this is the data. Do you have any data in the first aid ingestion?
No.
No, because you don't see a tick mark. And if I double click on first aid ingestion, see under advice we don't have anything. It is blank. We don't have any data here under first aid ingestion. Same thing in first aid inhalation, no data. Okay, let me double click. See, there is no data under first aid inhalation. So what can I add a data here if I want? In first aid inhalation, can I add a first aid instruction? If I am going at a speed, please you can stop me, because you have to do some practice also, because we connect for 2 hours now. So therefore I may be going little fast. If you feel I am going fast, you just stop me. Okay. So first aid inhalation, how do I add the data? I have to go to advice, and you see there is a small button here under advice. Click on that button, and now you will get a lot of data options. Victim to lie down in recovery position. If symptoms persist, call a physician. All these are different first aid instructions. So whichever you want to assign, whichever you want to add, you have to double click on that. For example, it immediately administer oxygen. We have an option, immediately administer oxygen. Double click on that, it will get selected here. You will get the option here, immediately administer oxygen. You want to add one more option, one more instruction, fine. If fumes from reactions are inhaled, move to fresh air immediately. Double click on that, that will also get selected. So in order to select the data, you have to double click. You have to double click. What if you select some incorrect option? Let's say by mistake I select move to fresh air. How to remove that? Again, if you double click on that, see from the selected phrase that will go back here. Again, if you double click, it will get selected. So you can select and unselect by double clicking. Okay, after you have selected the required data, next you can go down and you can select this option below. We have an option here. You see this option transfer. If you click on that, those 3 data objects will be added here. Right? I had selected 3 options. Those 3 instructions are added here. Now let's say I want to remove the third option, third data. Move to fresh air. I don't want this. So how to remove? Again, go to the list of options. Click here. Go to list of options. And here you can double click. See, either you can double click, or see below there are 2 options, add phrases, remove phrases. You can even use this option. If I select remove phrase, what will happen? That phrase will be removed. Yeah, it came back here, down. You want to add it back, again select that phrase. If you click on add phrase, it will get added. Either you can just double click, or you can use these 2 options, your wish. Again, you don't want move to fresh air, you can select the option remove phrase. Like that, you can remove or add any data that you want into your first aid instructions. Then click on transfer. Right, like that you can assign the data. And let me add at one more place, maybe for first aid ingestion, maybe. Okay, let's go to first aid ingestion. Here also I want to add some data. So tell me now how to add, if you have understood.
Click on the list of options.
Yeah, click on the drop down button here. It will show you the list of all the available instructions. Then select any 3.
Double click.
Which one?
Anything. But what have we selected?
Okay, anything, fine. Keep respiratory tract clear. Okay, I want to select 3. So again, give small amounts of water to drink. I can double click. Or if person is alert, induce vomiting, I will use this option, add phrases, and I will select that.
Sir, actually, this data will be selected according to the MSTS, right?
Yes, absolutely. We are creating MSDS. So the person who is selecting this data, no, he should know what is the nature of that material, which is the first aid instruction we have to follow. That person should know in advance. See, you are not looking at MSDS and creating this data. You are creating a MSDS. There is no MSDS for that material.
Okay.
Let's say in your company, they are manufacturing a chemical. So who has to provide MSDS for that chemical?
We have to provide.
Okay, how will you provide?
We have to understand the characteristics of that.
And you have to
chemical.
create a MSDS. You have to create a MSDS. Then you can provide that MSDS to your customers. Right? So first you have to
Yes.
create. How will you create? By selecting like this.
Okay.
But again, the question what you have to ask is who gave this data?
Yes.
Who,
Yes.
who created the data or who gave the data here? This data is created by SAP. Because if they don't give, how can we practice? To practice, we need some data, no? That is why they have given this. And tell me one more thing. What if you don't find an option for your chemical? You want to select some first aid instruction, but that option is not there. What will you do? Because even that may also happen, no? You are trying to add some data, but the data is not there.
Maybe that bottom line there is text, long text option and typing.
Where? Here?
Yeah, that.
No. It will, what it does is it just expands. It just bring it back downside. That's it. Nothing happens. See, we can create. Actually, see why I asked you, because if you don't find an option that you want to assign here, then we have to create a phrase like this. We are going to see that in phrase management. How we can add new phrases if you don't have. We'll see that in the phrase management. But yeah, you can create. If any data you want to add, but if you don't find, you can create that phrase. Possible. But that will come later on at a later stage. Here you just remember how to select and assign. That is enough. Right? Like that, we have assigned data for first aid ingestion and first aid inhalation. Next, what you have to do after assigning all the data? What is done after assigning the data? We have to save the data. You see, it will not save automatically. You have to save. So click on save option. Whatever data in ingestion and inhalation we have added, no, that data will be saved. And why the tick mark is not coming? I have assigned the data, no, still why the tick mark is not coming here?
Refresh.
Yeah, I have to refresh the property tree. You see here option, refresh property tree. I have to click on that. When I click on that, now you can see we have the tick mark for first aid ingestion and first aid inhalation. So you have to refresh whenever you assign the data and save the data. If you want to see that the data has been created, try to refresh. And you will get a green tick mark. So like that, we have to go to each of these options, and at each folder we have to create the data. We have to do this for all the folders here. Under each folder there are so many options. Again, there also you have to go and create the data. This is called as manual value assignment. What do you call that? See, if you keep the mouse pointer, it is showing manual value assignment. Because we have manually assigned the data. That is why. Okay guys, clear?
Yes.
Sir.
So for no doubt, tomorrow I can ask you some questions from this.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Yes. Sir, I have a small question, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Just now we discussed about MSDS, right?
Huh.
And what are the sections, like 16 sections? We are adding those specifications in that section, right? But you mentioned that we have to choose the options by ourselves by knowing the characteristics of the chemical or the substance. But actually, we don't have the authority to mention those 16 sections. Some third-party laboratories will give the MSDS.
Yeah, see, you as a
You
consultant,
as a consultant.
please mute, I will tell you. See, here, we as a consultant, we are not required to create a MSDS. Okay, if you are thinking like that, it's not true. We don't create the MSDS. Who will be creating the MSDS? The employee who is working for a chemical company who are manufacturing that chemical, he is going to create the MSDS. So let's say, for example, chemist. Normally in a chemical company, chemist will create the MSDS. So he has to collect the information. Maybe as a chemist, he will already know a lot of data about that chemical. Apart from that, any medical related data, they have to, collect the information from the company itself, or they may speak to doctors, or they may speak to some other people, experts, and they will collect the data. Or some companies, they will also do the research. They will do the clinical trial data. So after doing lot of research, after gaining lot of information from other people, only later on they have to create the MSDS, not blindly. Because every chemical is different. Every chemical will have a different property. Take for example first aid measures. What first aid measures applicable for petrol is not applicable for a sulfuric acid. Both are liquids only, no? Both are kind of chemicals. So do you think first aid measures applicable for sulfuric acid is same for petrol? That's not correct, right? It is different. So who has to enter that information? The person who is working as a chemist in that company, they have to gather the information and they have to create the MSDS, not a consultant. Because I don't know chemistry, I am not from a chemical background. So if they tell me create data, I'm sorry, I cannot create because I don't know what material it is. So the company people will create this data.
Then in that case, how can we do the MSDS specification here?
How can we? How can we create a
How can we
specification?
create a specification? MSDS.
See, whatever you are seeing here on the screen, specification workbench, this will be used by the client or end user. Like for example, let's say there is a chemical company like UPL or Tata Chemicals. It's a chemical company. Now they will be using SAP software, okay, and their employees, the people who are working for Tata Chemicals, they will be creating all this data. Whether it is MSDS data or whether it is specification, all this data will be created by them. Now you may be thinking, then what is our job? Why are we learning? If they are going to create all this data, why we have to learn? You should also know, because in a support project, if they have any error, if they are not able to create the data, they will be asking you. They will tell you, oh, boss, I am trying to create a specification, but I am not able to create. Some error I am getting, some technical error. What to do? Please suggest. Then you have to know, right, how the data is created, what options are there. You should know that. That is why you should learn this application also, and as a consultant, you should know how to rectify the error. But actual chemical data you will not have. It will be there with that particular company. They will create. Are you getting my point or still confused?
Yeah. Yes, I got it.
Because as a consultant job is not creating this MSDS data. That is not your job as a consultant. It will be created by the chemist in a chemical company. But if he is facing some problem, If he is not able to create the data, then you have to help him. But even for that, you should know how the application works, what are the different parts in that application. At least that much you should know. Without knowing that, you cannot help them. Like let's say a car mechanic. A car mechanic, if there is a problem with your car, you will take it to the car mechanic. Can that car mechanic tell, I don't know how to drive the car, but still I will rectify your problem? Can he say like that? Is it possible that a car mechanic doesn't know how to ride a car?
No, sir.
It's not possible, no. Similar to that. You should know about the application and how to rectify any problems when it comes in that application. That is why we are learning application also, and later I will tell you what kind of problems or errors you are going to get. Okay, so till here I hope you have understood whatever we have discussed.
Yes, sir.
Don't worry, it is
Yes,
little
sir.
difficult. I told you before itself. In one class, you will not understand everything. Slowly, as you practice, as you watch the videos and go through the material, you will learn slowly. Even when I started, it took a lot of time. So don't worry about that. Okay, all you have to do is just keep that in mind. Practice this. I will share the recording also. You go through the recording. Tomorrow we will discuss again. Whatever doubts you have, you ask me tomorrow. I will clarify that, and again we are discussing all these points.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so for today I will just stop here. Otherwise it will become too much for you to remember. I will stop here. Tomorrow we'll continue again. We'll refresh whatever we have seen, and then we'll discuss some doubts as well.
Okay, sure.
Okay, fine. Because it's already 10:15. You please take care. You connect tomorrow. We'll take this forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Good night.
Yeah. Okay. Good night, guys. Take care. See you tomorrow, same time.
Good night, sir. Good night, all.
Yeah. Good night. Bye.
Okay, sir.